Welcome back to Games Revealed. I am James Brink, and we are one. So today I want to talk about just a little upgrading through your software, your visuals, your battery, and your performance. Yes, the trifecta. It's magic, right? That should be impossible to do. Well, I'll say this. The graphics might not be upgraded, but with what you're doing, they can almost stay very similar, and at times could get a little downgraded, but that's besides the point. You can adjust things to almost get it to look about the same, but yet you still get the performance and the battery savings. And then for some games, it's gonna look really good on your TV as opposed to looking really bad. You don't have to sacrifice any kids, any family members, nothing. It's not witchcraft. It's just magic. And in this video, we're going to go over kind of what it is, so make sure to watch the whole thing. And this is definitely a very useful setting, so do not skip out on this video. Before we get into it, make sure to like, subscribe, bash that bell with your crowbar, and not miss out on anything else. So let's get into it. So what is this magic setting, this amazing little feature that the Steam Deck has potentially hidden? Now, if you've been up with news and read some of the updates, you'll know it's there, but maybe you don't. So in today's video, I'm going to essentially just show you where to find it, and also kind of like what the difference is, and also like the pros and cons to this. Most of it's pros, to be honest. So what is it? It's FSR. It's an AMD technology. NVIDIA has a very similar one, and FSR stands for Fidelity FX Super Resolution. It's just a fancy way of saying, hey, they're going to sharpen it and refill in some of the holes if it's very low on the resolution, but you have it up on a higher resolution monitor, TV, whatever it is. So, for example, if we were running, instead of at 800p on the screen, if we're able to select like 400, that's half the resolution, and so you'd expect half the quality, right? Half the pixels being shown, whatever it is. But what this technology will do is then upscale it and then fill in some of the missing parts and then sharpen it. And so it does a pretty good job. It is a little bit dependent on which game you play and do it with, but besides the point, it's great. It's also on its second version, which is much better than the first, which is FSR 2.0. And you can find the setting by going into the QAM, the quick access menu. That little button on the right, bottom right, and you go to the performance section, which is the second, I believe, to the bottom on the main tabs. And then you're going to scroll down in that performance section down until you hit the scaling filter, and then you'll see FSR. Really, you just wander around the menu until you find FSR. But if you want to do it the right way, then follow what I just said. But that's how I did. I kind of just wandered. It's kind of fun to wander this menu. I suggest you kind of play around with things there, because you can actually adjust your performance a lot in that performance section. So with that, you get to the FSR, and then below it has FSR sharpness. I just recommend sticking it at all the way to the right at 5. Just leave it alone. Now, if you run into some issues later down the road, you can always adjust it to see if it helps with performance. But I usually have had no issues just running it all the way to the right. And then go into your game, or if you're already in your game, you can do this ad hoc. You can do it while you're in the game. And then you can go into the resolutions and change the different resolutions until you get to what you want. That's what I usually do. So if I feel like I'm not getting great performance, I'll just reduce the resolution down, set it, go back into the game. I might go back and forth just to see how it is, and your performance should go up. I mean, you should be getting better FPS and whatnot, because the resolution that's rendering at is much lower. You're just upscaling it with this technology. And then, it's going to look awesome. Now, that being said, like I said, it's magic, but with magic comes usually penalties and some downsides. First up is just that some games don't let you lower the resolution enough to make it matter. It's multiple games that I have tried to lower the resolution, and with that comes another caveat where sometimes it just won't activate unless you're messing around with the full screen, and then also windowed mode or whatever other modes the game supports with the the screen. You gotta sometimes just mess around with that until it works. And then once you've got, messed around with it enough, then it typically, when I noticed it works, so this is like a kind of a tip, is when the screen flickers back and forth when you're using that FSR toggle in the QAM menu, or the QAM. And so when you're moving that toggle, you'll usually notice like the picture shrink and then go back to normal. And you'll notice that there should be more sharpness when FSR is enabled. That's how you know that it's working. And so hopefully the game that you really want to play that's maybe newer, that you want to downscale to, a 400 resolution or whatever it is, like 400p, you can do it. I've had mixed on this. It's kind of annoying, but even if it doesn't go down enough, it could still help with battery. Even if it can go down, like, let's say to 720 instead of 800, if it can go down just a little bit, it might help with your battery or performance. So even the little bit could help. It's just the lower in resolution you go, the better. But it's not like the magic starts to disappear a little bit the lower you go. It's still going to look great, but you're going to start to have to wonder, okay, at what point do I lower it to where I'm going to compromise the visuals? Like at 400, I actually was really surprised at how well it looked still at 400. Was it better than at 800? No, but was it drastically better than 400? I think it was for the games I tried. So last up, I think the best cases for this are TV docked gaming. So I have a 4K monitor right here. I don't even think I'd even try to do 4K with this, even with the upscaling. But maybe at 2K, or even 1080, like you could get it to at least look good enough to do console gaming on your TV. Is it going to beat your PS5? No, but you could still get it to look pretty decent. And out of a handheld, that's great to hear, and that you have that option. Not every handheld system has this option. Only ones that have FSR enabled. And then also just games that the deck doesn't run well. I will say that there's newer and newer games coming out. If you can lower the resolution, then you're going to luck out with this. So in the end, this is awesome tech. I really like that we got this feature on the deck. I think it's going to be really interesting to see where this technology evolves into. Because I feel like with FSR 2.0, we could be seeing 3, 4. We could really be seeing some cool stuff coming from this. But ultimately, I just wanted to make sure you know how to use this and that it's available and kind of what it does. So go forth and perform your magic on your games and get the better performance, battery life, and visuals than if it was at that lower resolution. So thank you guys for watching. I want to know what you guys think also on this. Is this something that's cool? You're like, nah, I could live without it. So with that, make sure to watch my other videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out. Later.